Well, the brand Schiit is actually pretty well known for headphone amps now, and on their kind of more budget line here, right around that $109 mark, they're offering two new headphone amps. And of course they have the Magni Plus, and they've got the Magni Heretic, which has that signature kind of red accent color to it. Now overall they're relatively similar. Even Schiit kind of goes into the differences there. It's not really I would say a massive difference between the two. However, there probably is some good sonic differences, of course. Now on the Heretic, I will say, it's actually a quite interesting headphone amp, definitely to listen to. I think it sounds very open, very spacious as an amp in itself. It's got a lot of soundstage listening to it. It definitely sounds like an amp that is definitely way more expensive than the current price tag on this little amp here. Now this thing is actually in a nice little case, just like a lot of the Schiit products are, and it's actually got some decent weight to it. I'm surprised. The previous ones I've tested from Schiit have been quite light. They're not super heavy. This thing actually has some beef to it. So let's get this thing taken apart and see how it looks on the inside. As I mentioned before, the red accents on this are quite noticeable. However, though, if you have it, of course, buried back on your desk a little bit, you're not going to see them as much. This front red accent here is quite low, but it still looks very cool. Now, on the front here, we do have some gain controls. It's got, of course, 0, -10, and +15, depending on the type of headphones you're using to listen to it. Power output is quite impressive. It has plenty of power, just way more than you ever would need for most headphones. You do have, of course, your headphone jack right up front. Now, I wish they would have the power switch up front. Unfortunately, it is going to be on the back here. It's going to be right next to the AC adapter input. We do also have a output stage here, so you can run, say, like another amp off this and bypass the headphone amp entirely when you're not using it, which is nice to have. So let's take these two screws off on top here and pop this thing open. Just like the Schiit Ricard that I just recently reviewed, it has the exact same way to remove the top case here. You will, of course, have to remove the volume dial. On the front, it just slides right off. It's quite easy to get on and off. It does take a little bit more force than you may expect to remove this. Alright, so looking on the inside here, we of course see our headphone jack is going to be right here. We of course have all the internal circuitry we can definitely see. That is going to be the Magni 1.0, the Heretic here on the inside. Overall, organization looks good on the inside. We do have a Nexum Japan chip right there as well. And I see room for the power switch, which is right up here on the front of the PCB here if they wanted to. My guess is they put it on the back simply to make the overall front face of it look a bit cleaner. Of course, they are assembled in the USA, which is fantastic. It's not using, of course, only made in the USA parts. But it's great to see it, made in the USA. The quality is definitely there from a lot of the other Chinese units you see. Now, I will say, is this the best headphone amp I've heard in this price range? Not really, but I think it's still a solid choice. You can definitely tell Schiit has definitely refined this headphone amp over the course of a number of years now. I've owned the original Magni and Moody set they had way back in, I think, was that 2011, 2012 when that first came out. I bought one of the first original ones, and you can definitely tell the sound has come such a long way. Of course, our on-off switch here has plenty of tactile feedback. It definitely feels like a quality, well-made switch there. And we have a Alps volume control there on the inside. Looks like compared to the other Schiit products that I've opened up, all of the capacitors in this one are definitely put in correctly and not all bent or out of place here. That's always great to see. I'm not sure what happened with the Ricard that I looked at that had a bunch of just out of the ordinary pieces that were a little bit bent up there. For the money though, I think it's a great choice for a headphone amp. You definitely can find, more modern, more refined amps for not too much more money. But when you get to that $100 plus range of headphone amps, you're definitely going to find a lot of really good options out there. And I think the Schiit has definitely done a great job with this one. Definitely looking for something with a little bit more, you could say, flair on your desktop there, having that red accent It's a really cool piece to have. It sounds as good as it looks, of course. And overall, I think it's a great recommendation. So guys, thanks for watching. Take care, and have a great day.